Hello, hello, and welcome back to Tactless Radio. You miss my voice? It turned you on? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tactless Radio, and I am B-Bad, your host with the most to say. I am a certified yapper. Won't even lie about it. That's why you're here, because you like me yapping. You like what I have to say. You like my crazy thoughts. No filter over here. Straight, no chasers. That's why you are here, because we talk about the real deal. Giving you the real, raw, Black, millennial, American, woman, queer-oriented perspective. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into Shit I Saw, where I grab something weird, ridiculous, and wacky off of the interwebs, and I bring it back here for us to discuss. Of course, we have not spoken in a while. So I know that there has been a lot that has happened since the last time I dropped an episode. So there could be many things I would like to talk about, but I'm probably going to talk about what will be the biggest headline of 2024. Diddy going to jail. So we do know earlier this year, because we saw it all over social media, that his LA house and his Miami house were raided. Unfortunately, his children were like handcuffed and outside. I believe one of them ended up having to get taken away to the pokey. They recovered a lot of evidence from these homes. I believe that we were cracking jokes about how like Diddy got away and now he's on some island with Russell Simmons, because why wouldn't he be? They pretty much did the same type of crimes. And we all remember that. And a lot of people were still holding out that Diddy was innocent. I don't know why. I don't know why any of you all thought that that man or any person at this point in the industry is innocent. Because even if they didn't do something, they're probably complacent, and we'll put a pin in that, because we're gonna come back to that. Put a pin in that. We remember when his houses got raided. We also remember, because we saw it clear as day, the hotel footage that came out when he attacked Cassie. A lot of you all gave that woman the apology she deserves, and if you ask me, it wasn't loud enough. The way y'all were tearing that woman down when she brought that lawsuit up against Diddy last November, to now you all being like, Cassie, I'm so sorry, because you had to relive your trauma for me to give a fuck about you and for me to actually believe your story. Whatever. So now we are in September, and it is all going down. Earlier today, and today being September 17th, it has now come out that Diddy has been arrested, and it has also come out what he has been arrested for. And ladies and gentlemen, that was some crazy shit that I saw, so we're gonna talk about it together.
Top story now breaking overnight. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs taken into custody by federal agents in Manhattan. He's been under criminal investigation since his former girlfriend accused him of sexual and physical abuse in a civil case.
This is big news here. Diddy appearing in court this morning, indicted by a federal grand jury. Let's check it out with ABC's senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katurski. Aaron, you just finished a news conference here, so outline these charges and what's the latest?
There are 3 charges in this indictment that was unsealed here today. Racketeering, conspiracy, putting Sean Diddy Combs like a mob boss at the top of what prosecutors called a criminal enterprise to abuse, coerce, and threaten women into freak-offs, as they were called, these extended sexual performances. The other 2 charges involve forced sex trafficking and transportation for the purposes of prosecution. Prosecutors outlined a decade-long pattern of physical and sexual violence, and Sean Combs was arrested last night at a hotel in Midtown Manhattan.
And Aaron, I'm curious, what is the evidence that they used to bring this case forward?
Well, this entire investigation spilled into public view in March, Eva, when Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles were searched. Inside, prosecutors said investigators found cases of baby oil and other items that were used in these freak-off sexual performance parties that victims were allegedly, coerced into participating in. They found a number of guns, including AR-style rifles with obliterated serial numbers, and prosecutors said that gives you a sense of how many of these women were treated. They felt they couldn't get away from Diddy because they were held by force.
And Aaron, before you go, I do want to ask you, what's next?
Diddy's going to appear in court. In all likelihood, he's going to plead not guilty, but federal prosecutors said these charges merit his detention before trial. His attorney, DeMarco, called Diddy an innocent man and said there was no need to get to this point. He may be imperfect, but his attorney said he is not a criminal, so he's going to fight the idea that he should be held pre-trial, try to get him released on bail. But unlike the civil cases, and there were 11 of them, with describing many of the same things that are contained in this indictment, where Diddy said these victims were out for money or the like, here he is facing significant criminal exposure and potentially decades in prison if convicted.
And we are going to continue to follow this developing headline. Aaron Katersky, thank you so much.
Wow. That is a lot. And you know what? I'm kind of happy that we as a society, as a community, as a collective, started to really get rid of stan culture a little bit. A lot of people were blocking celebrities earlier this year. A lot of people have been very good at canceling the specific people that they do not believe in, the specific people that do not align with their beliefs, the specific celebrities and companies and individuals that talk down, that take away the creativity or take away the ideas. Just if you have been a shitty person online, company, celebrity, or otherwise, people are blocking you, no longer giving you money, no longer supporting you, buying your music, buying your products. We're getting to a space where we're kind of like, I don't give a fuck that you're a celebrity. I don't give a fuck that you're a CEO. I don't give a fuck that it's a tech company. Are you doing good? And I'm happy that we started shifting there, because as this case goes on and more names, because you know more names are going to come up. More celebrities are going to come up. As they do, I want us to continue with that thought forward, that these celebrities and CEOs put their pants on one leg at a time like everybody else. These are human beings that are flawed. And the worship that they received, they shouldn't be receiving it. A lot of them don't deserve it. They're no one special to worship to begin with. The celebrity culture of worshiping your fave and fandom and stands, I'm so happy that we're kind of getting away from that. We are really about to see all of these celebrities for who they really are. Because the point that I wanted to bring up in this entire Diddy situation was that I am happy, thrilled, and overjoyed that one of those charges was racketeering. They are getting him on a RICO case. And this is why I'm happy, elated, overjoyed with the fact that he's getting hit with a RICO. There's enough of you motherfuckers standing around and doing nothing. There are too many of you that have been complacent when you see crimes happening. And there's way too many of you that have been complicit when you see crimes happening. And all of y'all deserved to be under the jail with his ass. Because he didn't act alone. Like the video just stated, they are getting him on a RICO charge because he operated within a network. That means women and men alike participated, abetted, closed their eyes, covered their ears, gave money to, participated in a lot of crimes for this to be going on for decades. I am 34. That man has been famous my entire life. He has, according to a lot of witnesses and a lot of people who work right next to that man, he's been doing this dirty shit for a long time. So clearly there's a network going on here. He is not doing all of this by himself. There are people who are willingly working alongside a monster. I knew it was something wrong with that man when I was watching MTV Making the Band and he made them walk all the way to Brooklyn for some cheesecake. I was like, something not clicking all the way up here, because that's a long ass walk. That was like hazing. For a music contract, I guess everybody gotta do a little hazing if you want to get in the studio. I knew it was something wrong with him then. The way that he was yelling at Lorianne Gibson, yelling at Diddy Kane, the way that he was oogling Day 26, it has been in front of our faces the entire time. To a certain extent, I feel like I've been complacent about what the fuck is going on. I feel like I have been complicit. Anytime that I put on Take That, Take That, anytime that I put on a Bad Boys record, anytime I listen to Mary J. Blige or Faith Evans or Biggie, I feel like I am also complicit in what the fuck is going on. It's been in front of our faces the entire time. However, 30 plus years down the road is now when we are doing something about it. And when I say we, not necessarily me, the justice system, the legal departments in Florida and California, the we is just the systems and the powers that be. Those are the we. But it is 2024. That is a long time of doing dirt and no one saying anything. But one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight that point is because, yes, we are seeing this happen on a large world stage, but your homeboys are no different. Your male friends are no different. They are just as complicit when it comes to the sexual assault of women, the raping of women, the drugging of women at frat parties, at colleges, on first dates, at a bar. And you know your homie just bought a bag of roofies, but you don't say nothing. Or you know your homie bought a bag of roofies and you asked for one. Because as long as that monster is doing something worse than you, then at least you can go to bed peacefully at night saying, I'm not that guy. Long gone are the days where you protect your homie and not receive consequences. Because when you say things like, well, that's my homeboy and I don't know what he do in the dark, and like he a little weird, but he cool with us, or he never disrespected me, or he did it that one time and he said he would never do it again. That's how you get a network of sex trafficking and racketeering. Because it's not your business. You didn't see anything. To hear that Usher and Neo sat across the table from Diddy and Cassie, saw Diddy punch that girl in the stomach so hard that she had to get taken away from the table, but they continued the conversation like nothing happened, is how we get here with a RICO charge. Because so many of you all love to stay quiet while women are suffering. You feel like that is your duty to stay quiet when women are suffering, because that's how you prove your loyalty to your homeboy, by allowing your homeboy to be an absolute fucking monster. There's so many interviews of Gene Deal, one of Diddy's old bodyguards, on YouTube, talking about all the shit he has seen, all the things that he has said, all the things that have been said to him. I believe he's also shared in some of his interviews how he has had to step in to stop individuals from harming the women around and saying things like, that's someone's daughter, that's someone's mother. He still came to work the next day and worked for Diddy. But everybody sees it. And the thing that I don't think males understand is that if your homeboy is a monster in front of you and you don't check him, he's just gonna continue to be a monster in front of you, and he's gonna do worse shit. Because now he knows that since you pussy and you won't say nothing about the fact that he's a piece of shit, he knows that it's okay for him to be a piece of shit in front of you. And he's gonna continue to do that. You are his safe space for being a piece of shit. And actually, because you are his piece of shit safe space, he's going to turn the notch up. He's gonna do way worse things. He's gonna be like, I've always thought about kidnapping. Let's talk about it. Like, it doesn't shock me that he's getting a RICO charge, because we have eyes and we have ears, and the media has been talking about this for a very long time. Jaguar Wright is another person that has been on YouTube talking in great detail about what she has witnessed in the industry, shedding light on the horrors of the industry, of what those women have gone through. And y'all called her crazy. And she might be, but she wasn't wrong. But she wasn't wrong. That is the one point that I wanted to bring back from earlier, that the complacency and you all being complicit is how hundreds of women and minors and men, because I want you all to know that there is a Michigan man behind bars right now who has also issued a lawsuit against Diddy because Diddy sexually assaulted him. And I also believe Lil Rod a couple months ago also had a lawsuit against Diddy because he was sexually harassing and sexually assaulted him. So it's not just children and women. This man is so devious. He is also out here sexually assaulting men. This man is a monster. And all of your faves knew that. And they still worked with him, and they still put him on a feature, and they still signed to his label, and they still gave him a vodka deal, a tequila deal, a TV production studio. And they all knew. So that makes me want to ask the question, how normalized are these crimes in this particular industry? And when you really sit down and think about an answer to that, it will drive you crazy, because the answer to that is that it's so normalized. That's how you get in it. That's how you get into that industry. And I'm not gonna lie, Jay-Z's next. Like, Jay-Z is next. R. Kelly was first. They're all going down. And what I want the people who sat there and did nothing to know is that you are not absolved from consequences either. And we need to start normalizing motherfuckers who are complacent and complicit also receiving consequences. Because to see a crime go down and be like, they ain't got nothing to do with me, is nasty work. Is nasty work. Y'all have taken snitches get stitches way too far. Way too far. That you will watch women, children, and men be violated and do absolutely nothing. That's a different type of evil. There's a special hallway for y'all in hell. Because for you to be like, as you watch people get drugged and their bodies being violated while they are unconscious and not go to the police, that doesn't change you as a person. That doesn't even traumatize you as a person, because you go back the next day and clock into work to work with that man in the studio, at the photo shoot, at the club. Like, it doesn't even traumatize y'all to the point that you're like, man, I'm getting the fuck out of this. Y'all keep going. And as this case continues, I'm pretty sure what we're all gonna find out and what we're all gonna learn is that a lot of the people who were monsters were victims first. Like Usher. And we as the Black community, because as this case unfolds, it will most certainly bring up the think pieces and the conversations in the Black community. The Black community will be affected. We have to really start asking ourselves, who do we want to be the face of our community? Because as a community, I'm not putting myself in this umbrella that I'm about to say. You don't have to put yourself in this umbrella if you don't want to. This does apply to specific people, but this is what caught on. But as a community, we decided that the face of our community, the leaders of our communities, the people who we call moguls and icons, we took a capitalistic approach. And we said they're going to be billionaires. That's why we have the Dr. Dre's and the Sean Combs and the Sean Carters of it all, because they have amassed so much money being Black men, where in this particular country, that's fucking unheard of. And it's not to say that achieving that feat shouldn't be celebrated, but those Black capitalists don't speak for us. And we have allowed for them to speak for us. We have allowed for them to be moguls and cultural icons to move the needle on what Black culture is and what Black needs are. And in my opinion, we need to be picking better people, other people, because Diddy is going down. Jay-Z is right behind him. And I don't know why we haven't been talking about Dr. Dre's domestic violence since the beginning of time, but I also have been very aware of the fact that he's not the best upstanding person either. So as our community goes through this change, we should really start asking ourselves if we want music artists and Black capitalists and billionaires to be the people that we prop up. I'm not propping nobody up, honestly. But when it comes to calling someone a Black mogul or a Black icon, Angela Davis, Bell Hooks, Audre Lorde, To me, Whitney Houston. To me, y'all be picking the shittiest people to call icons and moguls. Just because they made a lot of money doesn't mean that they're a good person. Actually, to tell you the truth, the more money you make, it's more difficult for you to be a good person. Doesn't it say somewhere in the Bible that it's easier for a camel to take their eye and go through a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the gates of heaven? Yeah. As we move forward as a culture, because things will start to change, let's make sure to support the people who actually have our best interest at heart. I want to talk about Doechii because that is my new obsession. Actually, an old obsession that has grown because Alligator Bites Never Heal dropped August 30th, and that's kind of the only thing that I've been able to listen to. Because when Nissan Altima dropped, I was like, that's me. Because this is what I love about Doechii, or just like female rap in general. When the niggas be spitting, and when you listen to hip hop and rap generally, which was male dominated for so fucking long, you would listen to what niggas like, what they bought, what they would do, how they fucked on hoes. That is not my life. That is not my perspective. That is not my story. Nothing that I can relate to. The lyrics are fire. The beats be amazing. Sometimes the niggas be cute. But like when it came to the lyrics and like me being able to feel it in my bones, never, couldn't, can't. Right? They male, me woman. Then the emergence of female rap came. And I will always shout out the Queen Latifahs and the Salt and Peppers and the Foxy Browns and the Little Kims and the Rhapsodies, because they are the foundation and the staple, and to a certain extent, I would say some of the beginning archetypes of female rap. Now in 2024, female rap is so diverse that the algorithm is getting a little close, you know? Like, yo, FYP, you have now built brick by brick, and you are coming across female MCs and female rappers of the 2024s, and their life experiences are so on par with yours that they be speaking to my soul. And I'm a blackity black girl. That's why Nissan Altima grabbed my attention, because the running joke is that girls who be driving with their leg out the window, drinking a 40, smoking a blunt, like the girls who be about their money, the girls who be up at 6 o'clock in the morning and don't go to sleep until midnight because they hustlers, they drive Nissan Altimas. That's like you have to be a part of the culture to get that. That's why when she says, put the motherfucking money in my motherfucking hands, I'm in Gucci and a bonnet, spending motherfucking bands. Like when that verse started off and I heard the bonnet line, as a Black woman who has heard all the critiques of how we're supposed to show up in public, and from Monique to every Black male sports commentator, they have said Black women walking out of the house in their bonnets are disgusting, atrocious, unprofessional, respectability, politics, and all. You know, you internalize that as a Black woman, especially if you are tired, you are depressed, you are suicidal, you are running around, you just had a baby and he just threw up on you, and the other one peed on you, like, and you just gotta go down the street real quick to get some formula. Like, to be policed at all times as a Black woman is exhausting. So to hear that Doechii is in Gucci, upscale store, whitey white, spending motherfucking money. It's like, what you don't get to do is call me ghetto and broke, because I'm in places that you can't even afford to be in. That particular line right there woke my soul up. And then she started talking about, of course, her haters and her fans in the stands. Do they love me or hate? Do they love me or do they hate me? Really don't give a fuck, because they still spend the bands. I absolutely love Doechii. If I had to go through the album, first of all, Bullfrog, try me, bitch. I'm putting that on my it's about to be a girl fight playlist. Denial is a River. That's so like cultural. Like, if you're not a part of the culture, you're not gonna get this. And it's not even like you have to be a part of the culture. You have to also be a part of like a specific niche culture to really understand this. And that's kind of what I love about the fact that female MCs and female rap has evolved. That it's not just female MCs. Now we have so many artists that you can find one that speaks directly to your soul, similar life experiences and everything. And Doechii, being a queer identifying Black woman who is a bad bitch, who at a young age was like, you know what, I'm gonna put on this persona because how I am being treated when I am this person, how they are treating me when I am this person is absolutely ass, but I know I'm that girl. So I designed who that girl is, and that's who I move forward as. Doechii, just take your boot off of my neck just a little bit so I can breathe. So go ahead, stream Alligator Bites Never Heal, Doechii. Also, I hate the fact that I am having such a stressful time in my personal life right now, because I saw that she is also going on tour. I can't keep up. I'm probably going to try and sneak into Lincoln Hall October 16th, because that's where my baby is going to be. But I need to go see her, because after this round, we not getting the small spots no more. Next round will be the United Center. And that woman, because she is talented, her final stops will be Soldier Field and stadiums. But please, if you want to a good time, go stream Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii. Alrighty. Now it's time for the Tactless take of the week. So I kind of want to take a little bit of what my shit I saw would have been if Diddy didn't get arrested, and kind of just open it up a little bit more. If you've not been following, Fuhad and James are hosts of Shxts and Gigs podcast. Both of these men are Black, based out of Europe. They're British. And they recently went on the Flagrant podcast, where that host, his name is Andrew Schultz, and he's a little bit of a racist, a little bit of a bigot, a little bit of a misogynist. He slurps up Trump rhetoric and spews it all over the place. So I thought it was kind of interesting that they went on that podcast, but whatever. I am not going to make a long story longer, so I'll just try to wrap up what happened. But Andrew Schultz said some very stereotypical things about Black women, and James and Fuhad sat there and belly laughed. They did not defend Black women. They didn't even really defend themselves, because Andrew then made a comment about how James, who is part Caribbean, his dad is from Trinidad and Tobago, and he's part white. His mother's Irish. Andrew Schultz said that he was a double slave, and that picking potatoes was worse than picking cotton. And James laughed. And Fuhad, who is Nigerian, Andrew said to Fuhad, "Oh, you look Nigerian. Which one of those Nigerian tribes are the scammers? And which one of those Nigerian tribes are the conniving ones?" All Fuhad said was, "Well, I'm Yoruba, so, I come from the smart ones." All right. Just disrespect and racism and xenophobia and misogyny all over the place. What I did see was an apology video from them earlier today. I believe that they dropped the video September 16th. And they apologized about being in the position of flight versus fright versus fawn versus freeze. They said that they were so uncomfortable with the situation that they kind of froze up, and that they should have protected Black women. They should have spoken up for Black women. They do not want their actions or lack thereof to be what causes for their audience, which a large portion of that audience was Black women. They don't want their audience members to get the assumption that these particular men are anti-Black or hate Black women. They love Black women, even though their actions did not show that in the moment. But okay. So knowing that that's just, the general basis of everything, because this is nothing new, right? Like, we've seen numerous times over and over and over, specifically Black men get online or on stage or in music, not defend Black women, talk negatively about women, Black women, talk down about Black women. It's nothing really new. They've been calling us bitches and hoes since the iteration of hip hop and rap. But this is the larger point that I want to make. This is the higher altitude that I want to bring this conversation to. Black women, we have a very special superpower. And I don't know if you all have noticed it yet, but I definitely noticed it a long time ago. Whenever a person, whether they be Miley Cyrus, Drake, James and Fuhad, they typically will find a way to garner Black women as their following, because Black women are some ride or dies. We will stream. We will share posts. We will blow up social media. We will buy tickets. We will buy albums and t-shirts and perfumes and whiskeys and hair products and makeup. When we ride for you, we ride hard. And we come with such a vicious mouthpiece that we typically will even protect you. But so many times I am seeing that these artists or companies will garner the approval of Black women first. They will have Black women as their core audience, as their base audience, use those numbers as a jump off, and then go do what they actually wanted to do. Then they go get the audience that they've always wanted to have. And it's not aligned with Black women in the slightest. It's country music. Black women don't listen to country music. Now they're super misogynist and they're working with neo-Nazis. We stand very far away from that. And it's just very interesting seeing how we are used to help people get on, and then we are left behind. But baby, that's been happening since Susan B. Anthony, if y'all really been clocking that tea. And this is what I want Black women to understand. Because of that superpower, we have to be so selective with who we support, because they are using us to pay their bills, to get their followers up, to get their streams up. I'm looking at you, Jack Harlow. They are using our power to push them to a middle ground so that other artists, other labels, other companies are like, oh, they're pretty popular. And then they take off and never think about us again. And we got to stop allowing that shit. Honestly, I am a very big Black female MC fan. A lot of y'all know that. So in terms of those particular artists letting me down, it's been few and far in between. And I really try to do my due diligence when it comes to other artists and other companies. But what I will say that I do, and I think a lot of us should start doing this too, the first time they fuck up, we got to get them out of there. The first time they fuck up, we got to get them out of there. Point blank, period. But we hold that power to decide who gets on, because it's us they go through first. So the first time with Chris Brown, should have cut his ass off. The first time with Trey Songz, should have cut his ass off. The first time with Diddy, should have cut his ass off. The first time with Jack Harlow, Post Malone, Miley Cyrus, cut him off. Cut him the fuck off. Until you do right by us. Because the moment they reach the notoriety they want to reach, we are a forgotten memory. But that's okay, because it's a new world, it's a new time, it's a new day. And we have seen this play out time and time again in different medias, in different formats, from companies to music to podcasts. To history. We have seen this happen over and over and over and over. They use us for the push that they need, and they leave us in the dirt. But Black women, we can do better. We are going to do better. We are going to be so fucking selective with who we support that you basically got to be donating to a couple Black women organizations for us to even really give a fuck about you. Because if we are your entry, then we got to stop letting bullshit slide. And the first moment of change, we got to get their asses out of there, because we all know how Drake started. He started with loving us, loving the strippers, being that stereotypical guy in the strip club talking about, you're better than this. I want to take you away from all of this. How much is your tuition? Like, now to 21, can you do something for me? And doing everything for your dogs. And now you're like right behind R. Kelly, Diddy, Jay-Z. You will be next. Now you are literally a part of the echelon of abusers, of the same women that you got your platform started off of, got your career started off of. It is time to course correct. Katt Williams was not lying when he said 2024 was going to reveal all truths. And with revealing truths comes a level of accountability that we all got to take. And because we know our power, sisters, we got to be selective with it. Mwah. Love you all. Thank you so much for coming back with me for another episode of Tactless Radio. And I will see you next week.